All right, what's going on, guys? It's 103 degrees here out in Arizona, but still got to get this work done on the car. So let me show you what I'm doing today. All right, so today I'm working on the window trim. As you can see, it's like super faded and the paint's kind of just like coming off. It just looks ugly. So that is what I'm working on today, and I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do that. So let me show you what you need. All right, so what you're gonna need is some 400 or 600 grit sandpaper, something you can wet sand with. I'm using this frog tape to tape up, obviously to tape up so I don't get paint on the car or anywhere else. You're gonna need something like a trash bag or some paper to cover the rest of the car so it doesn't get paint on it. I'm using trash bags because that's all I have right now. Some paper towels, some of this, bottle of water, or I have soapy water, but you can use just normal water. I'm using this primer right here, and then I'm using the satin spray paint. So you can find all these items below. If you don't want to wait for shipping or anything like that, you can find these items at Home Depot or Lowe's or AutoZone, any of those spots. So that's what I'm using. The first thing you're going to need to do is wet sand the trim. So let's get to it. All right, yeah, I forgot to tell you, you want to take this trim off before you get started as well. And for mine, it's easy as just pulling it up. So pull it up and then set it aside. Same thing for this side, it's just pulling it up, setting it aside. And now you can continue to sand. All right, guys, so you'll know when you're done sanding by just feeling it here. It should be smooth. Shouldn't feel any of that, like, the paint peeling or anything like that. It should just be completely smooth. So for me, it looks like I'm pretty much good. So now what you want to do is go ahead and wipe it off with some of this. Just use this in a paper towel, and then we'll use a microfiber cloth after that, just to make sure there's no dust or dirt on it. So let's get to it. All right, guys, so now that we're done with the sanding, wiping it down with the alcohol, hitting it with the microfiber cloth, it's time to do the most tedious task, which is putting the trash bag or wrapping it with paper, whatever you're using, taping that up, making sure it's all good. So let's get to it. All right, guys, so I wanted to show you kind of how I'm doing this. So I got the trash bags. This is a little trick. Roll down the window a little bit, have the trash bag fold over, tape it in there like that, and then all you have to do is roll it back up. Do this, roll this back up. Oh, and also you can tape the inside right here. You can tape that so when you shut it, pretty much good to go. Trash bag's in place, so the only thing exposed is the trim. And it's also up to you if you want to have the rubber seal in there. I'm going to keep it there because I'm just going to paint over it. Doesn't matter to me. So that's a little trick right there. Also, one more thing for taping in between this trim piece and the window. All right, so what you want to do is go ahead and get you some of this tape, tear it off, and then what you're gonna do is fold maybe like, I don't know, a quarter of the tape like this. Go like that, make sure it's flat, and then you're gonna use that side to kind of just push it in the crack, between the crack and the window and the trim. And then you just press it down, and that's it. So then you won't have, there won't be like a little crack that will get paint on the actual window. So that's pretty much it. Let's get back to it. All right, y'all, so I just now finished up taping everything. Took me probably like hour and a half, but everything's pretty much good to go. I'm gonna hit it one last time with the alcohol, and then we can go ahead and hit it with the primer. So go ahead and hit it with some of this. All right, now that we just hit it with this, you can hit it with the microfiber cloth, which I'm gonna do real quick, just to make sure there's no dust, no dirt. One last clean through. Now that that's done, we're hitting it with this automotive primer right here. Go ahead and shake it up for like a minute. After you're done shaking up for like a minute, you're gonna go ahead and start your first coat. Once you're done your first coat, you're gonna wait like 15 to 30 minutes. Do a second one, same thing, third one. You just wanna make sure it's looking even, everything's gray across. Make sure there's no black showing through that. So let's go ahead and get to it. I'm also using this piece of cardboard right here because I don't want any overspray on my car or anybody else's car over here, so I'll have this with me as I'm spraying. All right, so the first coat is done. Now I'm gonna wait 15 to 30 minutes, hit it with the second, 15, 30, hit it with the third. And then after that, we'll move on to the next step, which is actually sanding it down again. I only have 400 grit sandpaper, so I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna just be gentle, but usually I wanna use like 1,000, 1,200, 1,500 grit, just to get it smooth again. So now we wait. All right, guys, so I just finished with the primer. So you want to have it completely covered. As you can see here, everything is covered in gray. The next step is to wet sand it with your whatever sandpaper you have. I recommend a higher one, like 1,000 grit. I'm going to use 400 just softly, but you can see spots like right here and here, it's kind of bubbled up. We're going to smooth everything out, clean it up again with some of the alcohol, and then we'll be ready for the black paint. All right, guys, it's the next day. Last night got too windy, too dark. But anyways, once you finish up with the third coat of primer, you want to wait about an hour, and then you want to go ahead and wet sand it with, I recommend 1,000 grit or higher, but I only have 400, so I'm gonna just go gently with this. So let's get to it. So go ahead and spray. You can even spray the sandpaper. What you want to do is sand it enough until it's smooth, so there's no bumps, no roughness. So from up here it's smooth, down here it's rough. So that's essentially all you want to do, is make sure it's smooth. If you are going to use 400 or 600 grit, make sure you're doing it pretty light, because this is, it could go beneath the layers of primer. All right, after you finish sanding it, go ahead and hit it with this. All right, once you're done hitting it with the alcohol, wipe it down with the microfiber cloth. All right, now that we wiped it down with the microfiber cloth, we're ready to do the first coat of paint. Again, this is what I'm using. So shake it up for about a minute, and then go ahead and apply that first coat. All right guys, so I just finished the first coat. Take a look. It's looking pretty good. Obviously you can see some gray spots underneath there, so we're gonna do about 2 more coats. So that's what it's looking like. All right, so we'll go ahead and wait 15 to 30 minutes, then we'll hit it with the second coat. So let's wait. All right guys, so it's been about 15, 20 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the trim with the second coat now. So let's get to it. All right guys, so the second coat's on, same thing, wait 15 to 30 minutes, put the third coat on, and if you need to, do a fourth coat, but I wouldn't do any more than that. So I'm gonna go ahead and wait the 15 to 30, put the third coat on, and then we'll jump to me taking everything off and showing you what it looks like. So I just finished up the third coat. I let it sit for about 20-30 minutes, let it dry. Now I'm gonna take all the plastic off and let's see how it looks. All right guys, so I just took everything off and this is what it's looking like. It's looking super clean. I love how it looks. I mean, obviously it's not perfect, but it looks way better than it did. I mean, you can see some spots. I don't know if you can see it, like right up there. Added a little too much paint, but you can only see it if like the light's hitting it a certain way. But besides that, yeah, it looks amazing. Take a look at the before, take a look at the after. Clean. And I already did the other side. So all right guys, so that's pretty much it. I hope this helped you. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I will see you guys into the next one. Peace.